Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. What if humanity finally got proof that we aren't alone in the universe? And what if the people hiding that truth would do absolutely anything to keep it secret? Steven Spielberg has spent decades exploring our fascination with extraterrestrial life, from the wonder and mystery of Close Encounters of the Third Kind to the terrifying invasion of War of the Worlds. But with Disclosure Day, he's tackling perhaps his most ambitious alien story yet. One that asks what would happen if the truth about alien life was finally revealed to the world. At its core, Disclosure Day is more than just a science fiction thriller. It's a gripping conspiracy story packed with shocking revelations, intense action, and thought-provoking questions about humanity's place in the universe. Spielberg imagines a world where governments, powerful organizations, and ordinary people are forced to confront a reality that could change civilization forever. The film has already earned praise from critics, with many calling it Spielberg's strongest work in years. But like any great science fiction mystery, Disclosure Day leaves audiences with plenty of questions once the credits start rolling. So what really happened at the end of Disclosure Day? What does the film's final revelation mean? And what message is Spielberg trying to send about truth, fear, and humanity's future? In this video, we're breaking down the ending, the hidden meanings, and everything you may have missed. Let's get started. What you need to remember about the plot of Disclosure Day. Daniel Kellner, Josh O'Connor, and his new girlfriend, Jane, Eve Hewson, are on the run from Vortex, a secretive organization dedicated to hiding the existence of alien life. Daniel teams up with Hugo, Coleman Domingo, to expose the truth after obtaining video evidence of extraterrestrials. Their breakthrough arrives when meteorologist Margaret Fairchild, Emily Blunt, suddenly begins speaking a mysterious language during a live television broadcast, a language that only Daniel can understand. Vortex, led by Noah Scanlon, Colin Firth, immediately launches a manhunt to capture Margaret and eliminate Daniel. Noah uses advanced alien technology to invade Jane's mind, forcing her to answer his questions and even compelling her to kill Daniel if the opportunity arises. Although the couple narrowly escapes Vortex agents multiple times, Jane eventually manages to resist Noah's control, proving stronger than he anticipated. Meanwhile, Margaret goes on the run after realizing Vortex is also hunting her. As her abilities continue to evolve, she discovers she can speak any language and even read people's thoughts, giving her a powerful advantage while evading capture. During her escape, she leaves behind her boyfriend, Jackson Wyatt Russell, focusing solely on finding Daniel and uncovering the truth. Daniel and Jane eventually take shelter in a remote motel, believing they've finally found a safe place to hide. However, Noah once again infiltrates Jane's mind and learns their location. Knowing they're out of time, Daniel entrusts Jane with a mysterious cylindrical device similar to the technology Noah used to control her. He orders her to protect it at all costs and flee into the forest while he distracts their pursuers. Jane escapes, but Daniel is ultimately captured by Vortex, setting the stage for the film's dramatic final act. What happened at the end of Disclosure Day? After discovering where Vortex is holding Daniel, Margaret uses her telepathic abilities to rescue him, manipulating the minds of Vortex agents by making them believe they're hearing the voices of their loved ones. Noah's loyal second-in-command, Boyd, Henry Lloyd Hughes, pursues them relentlessly, but ultimately fails to stop their escape. The pair are rescued by Santiago, Tommy Martinez, who transports them to Hugo's hidden base of operations. At the hideout, Hugo's team painstakingly recreates Margaret's childhood bedroom in an effort to unlock suppressed memories. The experiment works, and Margaret finally remembers what happened to her and Daniel when they were children. She recalls being taken aboard an alien spacecraft by extraterrestrials that appeared in the form of animals. During the encounter, Margaret was granted the ability to understand and speak every language, while Daniel received an extraordinary gift of mathematical fluency, allowing him to comprehend mathematics as a universal language. This revelation explains how Daniel was able to understand the strange clicking language Margaret spoke earlier in the film. Before they can fully process the truth, Vortex launches an attack on the hideout. The group narrowly escapes and heads for Margaret's television station, KCXE in Kansas City, determined to reveal the truth to the world. As they prepare to broadcast their evidence, Vortex agents sabotage the station by cutting its power. Just when all hope seems lost, Jane returns with the mysterious alien device Daniel entrusted to her. Margaret uses the technology to restore power to the station and continue the broadcast. With the cameras rolling, Margaret reveals that Wardex has concealed the existence of extraterrestrial life for 79 years while Daniel uploads video proof for the world to see. News stations across the globe begin carrying the feed, and millions of people tune in to witness the historic revelation. For the final piece of evidence, Hugo presents a living alien to the audience. The extraterrestrial says something to Margaret, and the film ends on a cliffhanger as she returns to the news desk, looks directly into the camera, and simply says, "Listen," what the end of Disclosure Day means. Throughout Disclosure Day, there's a constant sense that the world is teetering on the edge of catastrophe. Early in the film, when Margaret arrives at KCXE, news broadcasts discuss escalating international conflicts. Throughout the story, television reports repeatedly highlight disasters, unrest, and growing tensions around the globe. The movie paints a bleak picture of humanity's future, suggesting that a major global conflict may be imminent. However, the revelation that alien life exists has the potential to change everything. Importantly, Noah and Wardex are not portrayed as simple villains. Noah genuinely believes he's protecting humanity by keeping the truth hidden. From his perspective, revealing the existence of extraterrestrials could cause panic, chaos, and possibly accelerate humanity's downfall. On the other side, Hugo, Daniel, Margaret, and their allies believe that the truth belongs to everyone. When Margaret finally broadcasts proof of alien life to the world, people everywhere stop what they're doing to watch. Streets, homes, offices, and public spaces fall silent as humanity witnesses a moment that changes history forever. The film's central message becomes clear in those final moments. Rather than inspiring fear, the existence of alien life has the power to unite humanity. The divisions that fuel wars and conflict suddenly seem insignificant when compared to the realization that humanity is not alone in the universe. Spielberg and screenwriter David Koepp intentionally avoid providing detailed explanations for the geopolitical tensions seen throughout the film, emphasizing that such disputes are ultimately small in the grand scheme of existence. By looking beyond our differences and toward the stars, humanity can achieve greater understanding, cooperation, and progress. It's this hopeful vision of the future that makes Disclosure Day one of the most uplifting and thought-provoking alien stories in recent years. What does Disclosure Day say about religion? Disclosure Day isn't only interested in exploring how the revelation of alien life would affect global politics. It also examines how such a discovery could challenge or reshape religious beliefs. Early in the film, Daniel learns that Jane once studied to become a nun before ultimately leaving that path behind. Later, struggling with everything she's learned, Jane seeks guidance from Sister Mora, Elizabeth Marvel, hoping to find clarity amid the growing uncertainty. During their conversation, Jane carefully poses a hypothetical question about what would happen if humanity discovered it wasn't the center of God's universe. She references a Bible verse suggesting that humans are God's greatest creation. Sister Mora responds with a thoughtful observation, pointing out that the verse only states that humanity is God's greatest creation on Earth. Her answer subtly opens the door to the possibility that other intelligent life could exist elsewhere, in creation without contradicting religious teachings. Although Jane never directly mentions aliens, Sister Mora's response provides a theological framework for accepting extraterrestrial life. Rather than viewing alien existence as something that would destroy faith, she suggests it could simply expand humanity's understanding of God's creation. The conversation arrives at a crucial moment for Jane, who is struggling with whether to continue helping expose the truth or walk away. Mora's perspective gives her the confidence she needs to return to KCXE and support Margaret's mission. Given Steven Spielberg's long-standing fascination with extraterrestrial life and his apparent support for greater transparency regarding the subject, the film clearly argues that the discovery of alien life would not necessarily overturn humanity's most deeply held beliefs. Instead, it could broaden them. Disclosure Day suggests that learning we are not alone in the universe should inspire curiosity and humility rather than fear. In this view, Wardex isn't protecting humanity by hiding the truth, it's preventing people from expanding their understanding of existence. The film ultimately proposes that politics, religion, and human conflicts may seem far less important when viewed against the vast scale of the cosmos. Is Disclosure Day based on true events? Since no definitive proof of extraterrestrial life has ever been revealed to the public, Disclosure Day is ultimately a work of fiction. However, that doesn't mean it isn't inspired by real-world events, theories, and controversies surrounding unidentified aerial phenomena. A major theme of the film revolves around the disclosure movement, a real-life effort led by activists, researchers, and former government officials who believe evidence of alien visitation has been hidden from the public. Advocates of full disclosure argue that governments possess classified documents, videos, and information about UFOs and should release everything they know. While these claims remain highly debated, the movement has gained significant attention in recent years. The premise of Disclosure Day is also influenced by actual reported UFO encounters. In an interview with Empire magazine, Steven Spielberg explained that one particular incident reignited his interest in telling a story about global disclosure. He pointed to the famous 2004 USS Nimitz encounter, in which Navy pilots, including David Fravor, reported witnessing a strange object off the coast of San Diego that appeared to move in ways impossible for known aircraft. Public interest surged even further when footage of the encounter was released and reported on by the New York Times in 2017. Although the U.S. government later acknowledged that the objects shown in the footage were unidentified, officials never confirmed that they were extraterrestrial in origin. That uncertainty is exactly the kind of mystery that fuels Disclosure Day. The film also draws inspiration from decades of alien conspiracy theories, including the infamous 1947 Roswell incident in New Mexico, where many believe a UFO crashed and was subsequently covered up by the government. By combining real-world UFO reports, disclosure activism, government secrecy, and classic alien mythology, Spielberg creates a story that feels grounded in reality while remaining firmly within the realm of science fiction. Whether viewers believe in extraterrestrial visitors or not, Disclosure Day taps into questions and mysteries that have fascinated people for generations. Is Disclosure Day linked to Close Encounters of the Third Kind? As marketing for Disclosure Day ramped up, including one of the most talked-about Super Bowl trailers of 2026, many fans began speculating that Steven Spielberg's newest film might secretly be a sequel to his 1977 sci-fi classic, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That film famously ends with humanity making contact with extraterrestrials while Roy Neary, Richard Dreyfuss, leaves Earth to embark on an interstellar journey with the visitors. The biggest connection between the two movies is the design of the aliens themselves. However, that similarity largely stems from both films, drawing inspiration from the classic image of extraterrestrials as small gray beings with oversized heads and large black eyes. Beyond those visual similarities, there is no direct story connection between the two films. Instead, it's more accurate to view Disclosure Day and Close Encounters of the Third Kind as companion pieces exploring different stages of the same idea. Spielberg himself has described them as spiritual bookends. Close Encounters focuses on the wonder, mystery, and excitement of discovering that humanity may not be alone in the universe. Much of the story revolves around ordinary people witnessing strange phenomena and gradually realizing that extraterrestrial life exists. Disclosure Day, on the other hand, examines what happens after that discovery. Rather than focusing on first contact, the film explores humanity's responsibility once the truth is known. It asks difficult questions about secrecy, government control, public disclosure, and how society would react if undeniable proof of alien life were finally revealed. In many ways, Disclosure Day feels like a thematic continuation of the ideas introduced in Close Encounters. It's not difficult to imagine that people who witnessed the events of the earlier film might have stayed silent out of fear of ridicule or disbelief. Those who encountered the aliens directly may have chosen to keep their experiences private rather than face public scrutiny. Disclosure Day challenges that mindset, arguing that a revelation of such importance should never be hidden from humanity and that the pursuit of truth is ultimately more important than maintaining secrecy. What's the central message of Disclosure Day? The core of Close Encounters of the Third Kind is communication. Humans obviously don't speak the alien language, so the otherworldly ship speaks to people through musical tones, breaking down the language barrier. The whole sequence is filled with whimsy, as the humans go from fear to awe in seeing that the aliens weren't interested in conquering us, but just trying to get us to listen. Communication is also at the center of Disclosure Day. Quite literally, Noah, Daniel, and Margaret are trying to get the message out that aliens are real. But it's also interesting to note that Daniel and Margaret's gifts have to do with communication. Margaret can speak any language, and Daniel can effectively speak in mathematics. Communication fosters empathy. Margaret can also read minds, and uses this power to connect with others on an emotional level. We first see her use this on a cop who pulled her over. Rather than manipulate him, She helps him by sharing what he can do to make amends with his wife. Her power gets used again at the news station when she helps translate a Korean ambassador. With the world on the brink of World War III, it seems many of humanity's problems come down to simple words getting lost in translation. And things would be a lot better if we all understood each other. Would full disclosure work the way it does in Disclosure Day? Conspiracies surrounding the existence of aliens have swirled around for decades. But the disclosure movement ramped up around 2017, when the New York Times published an article about unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAP, captured on video by naval pilots. The revelation spurred the belief that the government might soon reveal alien life, considering how advanced the technology appears in the published videos. As of this writing, such revelations haven't come forth yet, despite President Donald Trump consistently teasing such information coming to light. But who knows if he even knows anything? Disclosure Day completely bypasses traditional governmental systems as a rogue collective struggle to unveil the truth. In fact, Disclosure Day goes to great lengths to keep presidents out of the equation, insisting that they aren't told about aliens since they become private citizens after their terms and can't be trusted. But Disclosure Day runs into one hurdle with revealing this information through unofficial sources. When the feed goes global, 30 Rockefeller Plaza has to verify that the alien footage isn't AI. But even if they could confirm it, the general public may still think it's fabricated. That is until Hugo brings out an honest-to-goodness alien for the world to see. Again, someone watching this on their phone might question whether it's a real alien or a guy in a rubber suit. But more authoritative forces would likely speak out soon enough. What do disclosure enthusiasts think of Disclosure Day? One fascinating aspect of the Disclosure Day marketing is its emphasis on everything in the movie being true. The final trailer incorporates clips of Steven Spielberg himself discussing his belief in alien life, ending with him declaring, "All of this is true." But does Spielberg actually believe in the idea that full disclosure is imminent, or is it all just a marketing tactic? Many theories have emerged, and some don't think it's a coincidence that Disclosure Day is coming out now in 2026. There's a strong belief that actual full disclosure could come later in the year, and the film is priming the general public for the truth. Others are adamant that Disclosure Day is purely a work of fiction using a real conspiracy to get butts in seats. Given how many alien movies Spielberg has made over the years, it's clear he's interested in the subject. But as far as what he personally knows about disclosure actually happening remains up in the air. If the president won't reveal anything, it's unlikely a movie director would. Either way, with so many bleak sci-fi movie endings out there, it's nice to get something that lands on the optimistic side for a change. And just when you think you have all the answers, Disclosure Day leaves us with one final twist. The truth may have been revealed, but the story is far from over. The film answers some of its biggest mysteries, yet it raises even bigger questions about humanity's future, our place in the universe, and what comes next after first contact. Maybe that's the point. Some questions aren't meant to be answered right away. What do you think happens after the ending? How does the world react to the revelation? And what message do you think the alien was trying to deliver? Let me know your theories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more ending explained videos, movie breakdowns, and hidden details. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the most important answers are the ones we're still searching for. See you in the next video.